Queer V here, ready for another ARTSNACKS challenge. This is a very old box. It's from January 2017, but it's still one of the boxes I was most excited to try out. I did buy it from the store. From the ARTSNACKS store, they have a previous boxes section. It was on sale, so if you saw my unboxing video, it was a bit ago, but I finally got to use the product, so let's see what happens when I do that. Alright, so first thing is that I am swatching out all of the products from the box. What I didn't do was dip the Zig pen in water like the menu tells me to. I did not reread the menu until after I completed the challenge, so that was totally my bad. I probably should have done that to figure out some tips on how to use these, but I still remembered that it was like water soluble or whatever, so I took a brush with some water and got that out, and it made a very, very pretty blue. I wish that my webcam had better, more accurate color quality, because it's very pretty, and these fluorescent acrylic paints were pretty bright, but they don't show up as bright on the camera. But yeah, so I'm really not very familiar with acrylics, so I'm just sort of putting it on the page, messing with it, moving it around, seeing how it moves. I liked that these acrylics were like high flow. They were much easier to move around than like heavier acrylics, and I wanted to see kind of what would happen if I put it over the blue, and then what would happen if I mixed them a little together. So I did that a little bit on the side, and it doesn't really show up so well on the camera, but it is kind of a bright green that they made. It's a nice color. And then just sketching out with the pencil, which is kind of giant. But yeah, and so those were all the products. Now let's get into the painting. So I decided to go with an angelfish, and I did sketch it out with the pencil that came in the box before I started the video, and that's because I just take a really long time to sketch things out, so I thought I would save time and do that before the video, and then just have the video of me painting, because painting to me is more exciting anyways. So yeah, I wanted to add the yellow first, and I thought like it would look cool on the fins if like the yellow and blue were kind of like melding together, but I kind of wish that I didn't put yellow all the way like to the top, at least for some of the fins, but that's okay. It's a learning experience, of course. But using these paints was really fun. I really liked them. I liked how fluid they were, and I liked how you could get different colors just by putting like a little bit of the blue over the yellow, and I was getting a lot of different shades of green in there, and I thought that was making the fins look pretty cool. And you know, adding some shadows around. But the thing is that I could never get like a blue color at the tip of the fin, at the like back end of the fins, because there was yellow like the whole time, so it like would not be blue, because I guess the fluorescent golden paints are a little translucent, so you can see through them. So yeah, it was kind of impossible to get blue up there, but I tried a lot. But still, I like all the greens and the colors that came out of putting the two together. It was a good time to use them. Sorry if I'm being really quiet, but it's like 5 a.m. and I woke up at a weird time and I decided to just paint, and my partner's sleeping, so I don't want to wake him up. But I do want to make this video so that I can send this off to my friend. So yeah, then I had mixed the yellow and blue off in my palette to create a little bit of a green, and so I was painting the stripes like yellow, green, and blue for the angel fish. I don't know, when I saw the colors in the box, for some reason I just thought angelfish, like that's what first came into my mind, so that's what I wanted to paint. And the blue was definitely like, I mean, darker than the yellow, but I mean it was like, I guess, less transparent also. Alright, and here I've just added some more layers to the paint to make it a little more opaque and darker. I'm trying to add more blue on top again, and it's not really working. It's not very blue. It's very green. So I kind of fiddle around with the fins a little too much, but I think that they end up looking pretty good. Oh yeah, I was trying to add like little scales, like just little accents to make it seem like there were scales on the fish. And I tried to make them darker where I thought there might be shadows. I tried to make the fish more dynamic with like the shadows, but that's something I think I still struggle with. I was trying to make it look, you know, like it was moving through the water, but the light is weird in the ocean, so I don't even really know what I was doing, I guess. But this paint was actually easier to work with than I thought. I was a little afraid because I'm not very familiar with acrylics, but since it was so fluid, it was more like ink, which, excuse me, I am a little more experienced with, so. Then I'm adding little bubbles. I know that, you know, that doesn't really make sense, but it's cute, so I thought it would be a good idea. And the bubbles were fun to color in, paint bubbles. Okay, and this is when I started to add in the Zig pen, and it was a little dark, but I kind of liked how it outlined the fish. And I try to just use it for like the outside part, and not so much the fins, because those are, you know, those are supposed to be lighter in color and more like transparency because they're fins. And I was trying to show that I had put some out on the palette from the Zig pen, and then I was using a brush, and then I was going over outlining the fins with that, because I thought it would be a little more subtle but still give it like that outline so that it would pop from the background, and the yellow kind of disappears a little bit, so I also thought the blue would give it a good little push so that you could see it a little better. And then I'm trying to add blue with the Zig pen, and that works a little better. That works a little better than using the acrylics, but it's still, when I push it out, it kind of fades into the green a little bit again, but I tried. I tried. But I think that the fins look better not being like super blue, so I think it all worked out in that department. And yeah, this is when I'm just trying to like add more depth and dimension to the fish and kind of put in shadowy places and add more like scale like things on there. So it's a little fishy with scales. Beep boop. And then I'm continuing trying to do that. It's a real process, trying to add more depth to the fishy. Do. I'm sorry, I don't have much interesting words to say right now, because maybe it's because I'm sleepy. But I'm really excited for this, so I wanted to record it anyways. Because this paint was so much fun to use. And then I decided to do like a watery background, but the marker didn't like come out with water as much as I wanted it to, but I decided to work with that and add a little bit more marks so that it looked a little darker in the background. What I wish I did was add more of those in different places, like around the fish, and not just at the bottom, because like now looking back on it, I think I could have added more depth to the painting if I had put the darker places in different areas and not just the bottom. I guess at first I was kind of going for a gradient kind of thing, but since the marker lines were kind of visible, it was a little more like graphic style, and I could have done a little more with that, I think, if I had thought about it a little more, but I didn't at the time. So that's okay. I still really like how it turned out. And yeah, I had a lot of fun using these products, like maybe the most fun out of any ARTSNACKS box I've played with so far. But yeah, I thought it was really good box. The products worked pretty well together. The zig marker was like fine, you know, over top of the acrylic paints, and it turned out with this really cute, come on, focus, this really cute fish. And I really like it. I really like how it turned out. And I really like the colors. I think they're very beautiful. But yeah. And I hope that my friend Debauchery likes this. I made it for him for Christmas. This is part of also my VEE Paints ACEOs for Christmas series, but I wanted to do an ARTSNACKS challenge for this as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you got this box, let me know what colors you got. I know it's a really old box, but yeah, and let me know what you think. See you guys later. Have a good night.